Hey guys, Derek here. Welcome back to the channel. We are back to watch another episode of House of the Dragon. This is episode 9. It is called The Green Council, I believe. Last episode was fantastic, and you guys showed a lot of support on the video, so thanks for that, first of all. But it was also kind of a wild one, dealing with the succession of Driftmark, and Daemon cutting that guy's head in half, and then the king dying, and just the misunderstanding that is now gonna start a civil war. Granted, this civil war almost definitely would have happened regardless. It was just like this little misunderstanding is the straw that broke the camel's back, essentially. Like, they were almost on the way to reconciliation in some form. We all know it wouldn't have lasted, but they were on that path slightly, just a little bit. And then that misunderstanding at the end really just burned that bridge. And I think from this point on, it's gonna be a war. And there's gonna be a lot of people fighting and a lot of people dying, and it's gonna be intense. But I'm here for it. This show's dope. So before we jump into it, if you end up enjoying my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me. If you're new here, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if you're interested in seeing the full uncut version of this reaction, consider checking out my Patreon. That's linked in the description below. But otherwise, let's jump into episode 9 of House of the Dragon. That's what happens when the king dies. Hello, small child. Which one are you? He's here for breakfast.
You're sure?
Oh. The kid saw the king dead.
Who knows?
My handmaid didn't tell you. Some of the servants.
Oh, and probably now the worm lady as well, because this Telly's a straight snitch.
He told me he wished for Aegon to be king.
He did not. She's got a signal to let Mizaria know that the king is dead.
What is it that could not have waited an hour? Was Dawn invaded?
No.
The king is dead.
This dude thinks it's some casual situation.
But he has left us a gift. With his last breath, he impressed upon the Queen his final wish that his son, Aegon, should succeed him as Lord of the South.
The thing is, she thinks it's true. Like, she's not just being a snake. Like, she legit thinks he wanted this.
Then we may proceed now with the full assurance of his blessing on our long-laid plans.
Yes, there is much to be done, as we've previously discussed. Now, there are 2 among the captains of the City Watch that remain loyal to Daemon. Let us replace them.
Is she confused about the long-laid plans part?
Am I to understand that members of the small council have been planning secretly to install my son without me?
My queen, there was no need to sully you with darkling schemes.
Yeah, that's serious stuff.
I am 76 years old. I have known Viserys longer than any.
He does not just change his mind.
I believe that he said this on his deathbed, alone with only the boy's mother as a witness. This is Caesar!
Facts. He knows him. He wouldn't do it.
Which of us are you accusing of regicide, Lord Beesbury?
Whether it was one of you or all of you, I cannot. I will have no part. Down!
Oh my god. Kristen Cole.
Throw down your sword
And remove your cloak, Sir Criston. I am your Lord Commander, Sir Criston.
Will not suffer insults to Her Grace the Queen.
There was no insult to me, Sir Chris. Put aside your blade. What of Rhaenyra?
The former heir cannot, of course, be allowed to remain free and draw support to her claim.
You mean to imprison her?
She and her
Not good.
You plan to kill them?
It is unsavory, yes. But a sacrifice we must make to secure...
Don't
Aegon's
say anything,
succession.
brother. There's like 6 people in this room. They'll kill you.
Did not wish for the murder of his daughter. He loved her. I will not have you deny this.
And yet...
One more word, and I'll have you removed from this chamber and sent to the wall.
She does not enjoy the fact that this is happening, and they seem slightly pleased. They're like relieved that this is finally happening.
Lord Commander Westerling, take your knights to Dragonstone. Be quick and be clean.
He is resigning.
I am Lord Commander of the King's Guard. I recognize no authority but the King's. And until there is one, I have no place here.
Kristen Cole, are you gonna go try and fight him?
Your father, there is a beast beneath the boards.
What does that mean? Beast beneath the boards. You said that last episode as well.
Believe he may have left the keep secretly.
To go to a whorehouse, probably?
Find him.
My lord.
Bring him to me and me alone, Sir Eric.
Ah, this is so, like... It's just so tense.
What is the meaning of this?
She's a possible voice of dissent, so they gotta keep her locked up for now.
Aegon must be found, and he must be brought to me.
Ooh,
The
what?
very fate of the Seven Kingdoms depends on it.
Interesting. The other guy was told to bring him to Otto.
I don't follow. He said time to get it wet. Every woman is an image of the mother, to be spoken of with reverence.
Yeah, you should say that to yourself when you talk about Rhaenyra, you hypocritical douchebag.
The prince is not here. He does not frequent the Street of Silk. His tastes are known to be less discriminating.
What's that mean?
I wish you luck, good sir, and my best to your friend.
What's up with him? He's like nervous.
How you've grown.
You once swore your banners to Rhaenyra. You must now pledge them to the future king.
I must confer first with my house on this matter.
You'll not leave this room without declaring your intention.
Or you'll be killed, essentially, is what he's saying.
I am no oath breaker. I will not bend the knee.
Long live the king.
Ooh. Oh no. Oh my god.
You see now what he is. You've not seen everything. One of many, I'd wager.
Dang. So he sires some bastards, and then they grow up to fight in fighting pits. That's messed up.
It is I, the younger brother, who studies history and philosophy. It is I who trains with the sword, who rides the largest dragon in the world. It is I who should be... I'm next in line to the throne. Should they come looking for me, I intend to be found.
That's fair. Honestly, that's pretty fair, and he might be a much more formidable ruler.
I can take you to Prince Aegon. Rather, I'm sent by one who knows where he is. I'll tell you.
The worm? This dude's gonna get killed, right?
Let the king's justice take him.
Oh, they're not even gonna... Are they gonna cremate him via dragon fire? As his house demands? Dang. She actually somewhat cares for him, at least. Or she's just crying about the situation in general. Doesn't
Are you
explain.
usurping the throne?
Yeah,
It was my husband's
that's
dying
why
wish.
she was locked.
Believe it or no, it is of no consequence. House Velaryon has long allied itself with the Princess Rhaenyra, and what has it gained you? You should have been queen.
Facts.
It's in the name of peace that you've imprisoned me.
Yeah, talking about peace.
And what of my dragon?
And you're about to start a civil war.
If it's Driftmark you want, you shall have it. For you and your granddaughters to pass on as you see fit. Alicent Hightower, a true queen,
Use
counts
your
the cost
full
of her
name.
people. Yet you toil still in service to men. Your father, your husband, your son. You desire not to be free, but to make a window in the wall of your prison.
My condolences on the passing of your king.
She knows.
Where's the prince?
He is safely tucked away.
Yeah, where is the question?
I want an end to the savage use of children in Flea Bottom. They are forced to fight.
That's reasonable. Reasonable.
There is no power but what the people allow you to take.
Let's see if the people allow let's see what the people allow. He's just underneath there.
I do regret this, friend.
Is our father truly dead?
Yes. And they're going to make you king.
He doesn't want to be king.
Let me go!
Where's your brother, huh?
Brother!
Aren't they like both on the same side here? Why is he trying to fight him?
No taste for duty! I'm not suited!
You get no argument from me.
Whatever our differences, our hearts remain as one.
Our hearts were never one. I see that now.
Dang.
I wanted whatever you impressed upon me to want. And now the debt comes due. A debt you are happy enough to pay.
A sacrifice.
Reluctance to murder is not a weakness.
Facts. Facts. I'd say that's a strength, honestly.
We'll proceed now as I see fit. Kristen Cole will be named Lord Commander of the King's Guard. My son will be anointed tomorrow at dawn. My son will take the crown of his namesake, the Conqueror, and carry Blackfire, his sword. Let the people remember the ancient strength of House Targaryen.
Not Hightower.
Your Grace.
Brother in Christ, quit your creeping.
There is a web of spies at work in the Red Keep.
He's got a foot fetish. He gets info by checking her feet out.
One of the little spiders is your lady in waiting.
Talia.
Whoever directed this episode's got a foot fetish. My brother in Christ. Don't. I don't like this. This is upsetting to witness. People with foot fetishes are weird. Like, if we're being real, if you're watching my video right now and you have a foot fetish, seek psychiatric help.
With me, Princess. I cannot let this treachery stand.
Dang. What a boss. Who's the... Oh... They just hung him there? That's the worm lady's house. Is she dead, though?
I won't leave, Melees. If I could get to the dragon pit, then...
No.
Where are they being shuffled to? This dude just hates his life.
He had 20 years to name the heir and never did. Steadfastly, he upheld Rhaenyra's claim.
He changed his mind.
Wow.
Everyone who knows him well is like vehemently like he did not change his mind. Kill yourself with it.
Do not toy with me, mother.
I speak the truth.
Do you love me?
No. She does not.
You imbecile.
That's all he wants to know. That's all he's ever cared about. Is if his parents actually love him. Or if he's just some pawn in a game. Right, this is the dragon pit? Or is this the sept?
Our beloved king, Viserys the Peaceful, is dead. For as his spirit left us, he whispered his final wish that his firstborn son, Aegon, should succeed him.
We're not happy about this. We're not happy about this. It's John Cena! He might be an okay king, theoretically, because he doesn't want to be king.
A new day for our city. A new day for our realm. A new king to lead us.
Wow. They're coordinated with that.
May the warrior give him courage. May the smith lend strength.
Helena, you're the new queen.
May the crone lift.
This is the dragon
a
pit.
shining lamp.
Yeah, this isn't. This is just so stressful, and I don't enjoy it. Like, I enjoyed the episode, but, like, I don't enjoy what's happening.
All hail his grace, Aegon, second of his name. Aegon the king.
And I can feel the episode's gonna end soon. What is this, the first time that he's actually felt like someone didn't hate him? Oh, he's leaning into it. He thought he didn't want it. He thought he didn't want it. Oh! Is this Rhaenys? Oh my god. Oh, you bad bitch, yes. Oh, fully kitted up. Let's go, girl. Oh, shit. Oh. Rhaenys stays strapped. She could have killed them all right there. Oh. She could have ended it. She could have ended it. Oh no! End of the episode. Wow. Holy cow, what an episode. For most of the episode, I was just like uncomfortable. There was a level of tension that was just like, I don't know fully how to articulate it, but it makes you uncomfortable because I guess if someone who's cheering for Team Green or whatever, you might be like, yes, like this is one, you might have a great satisfaction watching this all unfold. But me, who is actively rooting for the other team, I spent most of this episode just like, I don't enjoy what's happening because as Rhaenyra and Daemon are on Dragonstone without any knowledge, like they literally were just here yesterday and now they're home, tucking their kids into bed and they're gonna fly back in a couple days maybe. The king dies, and off sets this plan is set in motion from like half of the Greens. So Otto and his buds, as soon as they find out the king is dead, they're like, heck yeah, like time to enact our plan. And Alicent she's horrified, right? Like she wants the prince to be on the throne, but she doesn't want to go about it in this way that's like, let's kill Rhaenyra and her whole family. Because she knows as much as they're saying, oh, allow Rhaenyra to bend the knee. That she knows, that they know, that everyone knows Rhaenyra is not going to bend the knee. And so they're going to end up killing her. But they're pretending as if they're giving her the option. And Alicent is rightfully horrified. She's like, bro, like, I understand you want my son to be king, but like, Viserys wouldn't want this. Like, he would not want his only daughter to be murdered to put his son on the throne. Like, she fully believes that he wanted Aegon to be on the throne, but she also fully believes that he would want a peaceful transition and not something that would result in the death of his family. Because in the end, that's the whole thing he cared about. Friggin' Beesbury. The dude, he's standing up, he's like, you're all traitors and you're all liars and I will not stand for this. And Kristen Cole friggin' slams his head down onto his little ball and just kills him. And they're like, we're just going to continue this meeting with his dead body right there. And then the Lord Commander of the King's Watch, he's like, nah, fam, like, this ain't it. I'm done. And he quits. And he's like, I will no longer be a part of this. And presumably, it's crazy that they let him go. Like, they're locking down everybody else. Like, every single other person who could potentially make an impact on this situation and maybe tell Rhaenyra, they're like locking them in rooms. They're killing them. They're hanging them. They're not letting them go anywhere. And this one dude, who's like pretty much like a known friend of Rhaenyra, is like, nah, fam, I'm not gonna be a part of this until, like, I'm not gonna take direction from any of you. I'm the commander of the Kingsguard, right? Like, I'm not gonna take direction from anyone but the king. And so he quits and he leaves. And I'm curious if like he would support Aegon or if he is gonna be on Team Rhaenyra, because I think he'd be on Team Rhaenyra. He's been on her squad since like she was a child, so it makes total sense that he would be with her. They lock Rhaenyra, or not Rhaenyra, Rhaenys in her room, obviously, because, you know, what else did they expect to happen, right? Like, she, of the people that are there, she is one of the more prominent ones that could raise a fuss, right? Both in terms of her having a dragon and being able to leave and tell Rhaenyra ASAP, and in terms of her being like, hey, maybe I want the throne instead, because, like, she could totally be like, hey, the king's dead, I claim the throne now, which would be a very curious standoff. But the showrunners described this episode as kind of like a Alfred Hitchcock type movie, or like a thriller, almost like a spy thriller, where it's a race against time, because there's these two factions within the Greens, surprisingly. Alicent versus her father, whereas her father wants to get Aegon so he can influence him and tell him, kill Rhaenyra, kill their whole family, you're king. But Alicent very much wants to counsel him towards mercy. And it's just kind of this race against time where two little factions of minions are trying to find Aegon, the twin brothers, and then Aemon and Kristen Cole. And the twin brothers, one of them is not a fan of Aegon because he routinely participates in, you know, child fighting pits. Like, he frequents those establishments. And so I said in the reaction that Aegon might be a good king because he doesn't want it, but I think the fact that he frequents child fighting pits might be a sign that he... I mean, I don't know if he'd be straight up Joffrey, but it might be a sign that he is closer to Joffrey than, say, Ned Stark, right? Like, he's not going to be the most honorable man. He's shown that already with how often he cheats on his wife and all that jazz. But you could theoretically argue that all the stuff that he's been doing up to this point is a product of him feeling as though he is unloved by his father and his mother and the kingdom, right? Like, he definitely, especially his father, like, because he, as far as he is aware, he's the rightful heir to the throne, but his father just actively doesn't love him and doesn't want him to be king. And so his years of acting out have stemmed directly from that. And now that he is in a position where, like, he is anointed king, seemingly at the direction of his father, as far as he is aware, he might, some of that, not rebelliousness, but some of that resentment and some of that acting out might be reined in, theoretically, because he, you know, he feels as though his father put him in his position and his mother supports him and the kingdom supports him. Maybe he could be a chill dude now, but my guess is he's probably still a little bit of a dick and will act like it. Ooh, we have an interesting conversation between Alicent and Rhaenyra, where, or not Rhaenyra, their names are so similar, Rhaenys, where she is, they kind of talk to each other as women and mothers for the first time, where she's like, you know, if you go along with this plan, you can have Dragonstone, you can have whatever you want. Like, this is always, like Alicent is arguably, like, rooting for Rhaenys in this moment. She's like, you have been wronged every step of the way. Like, arguably, from my opinion, this should be your throne, but it's not, and it won't be. It'll be my son's throne, and I will give you whatever you want if you just go along with it, right? And I love the moment when Rhaenys calls her by her full name. She's like, something, 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 Alicent Hightower. And it's like, ooh. She's not calling her my queen. She's not calling her your grace. She's calling her Alicent Hightower. Because she's not, I guess at this point, you know, she is not viewing Alicent as the queen, and she's not viewing her as royalty anymore because the king is dead. And it's just, but then she does ask her, like, have you ever imagined yourself on the Iron Throne? And I wonder her motives behind that. Like, is she just trying to sow some discontent amongst their family, or is she actually proposing, like, hey, have you thought about it? Like, have you thought about being on the throne? Like, what would that look like? Very curious. They collect Aemond. He's obviously upset. He doesn't want to be the king. Alicent straight up confronts her father. I liked that scene because she actively is like, yo, I've been a puppet of you my whole entire life. Like, up to this point, you know, you claim that this is what I want, but this is really just what you wanted me to want. Like, I have had no direction in my entire life up until this point. I thought I had a sense of independence and that I was kind of my own person and that I was doing things of my own accord. But I realize now that this entire time I've been manipulated by you. And I will no longer be manipulated by you. And it's just, I like that because it does set up it sets up the idea that even though Alicent is kind of like firmly entrenched on Team Green, like she has no choice to be on Team Green, like in her heart she is also somewhat Team Black. like she's actively going against the side that wants to murder Rhaenyra and be on the throne. Like she's willing to go like put her son on the throne, but she doesn't want to do it in a bad way because she knows deep down that it's not right. This is going to be like a Captain America Civil War type situation where people are going to either choose Iron Man or Captain America. Captain America is the right pick in that movie because he's doing the right thing, and he's right in the movie. Like Iron Man is wrong in that movie. He's wrong because if you watch one of the most recent episodes of She-Hulk, they repealed the Sokovia Accords, which means Captain America was right the whole time. And people had the nerve to fight against him and pick Team Iron Man. Are you kidding me? Like, I get Iron Man's dope and Tony Stark is great, but Cap was clearly in the right that whole movie. he should have told Tony about his parents, but like everything else, he's in the right. And I kind of see similarities in this episode where like Rhaenyra is, in my opinion, the Captain America side. and Alicent's side is the Tony Stark side. I mean, this isn't a great analogy by any means, but there is just as Tony goes against the Sokovia Accords in the end of that movie, Alicent secretly in her heart knows that what Otto is doing is wrong. Not all of it is wrong. You know, she agrees with the idea of putting her son on the throne, but like the entire process of how they're going about it is what she believes is wrong. Just like in Civil War, Cap believes, you know, that there needs to be something that happens, right? Like there needs to be some sort of system put in place to prevent destruction and death from the Avengers, and that there something does need to change, but he completely disagrees with the method that is chosen, and it's just it's interesting because both like Captain America Winter Soldier and Captain America Civil War are also kind of similar, not necessarily spy movies, but Winter Soldier is, but like Civil War is also kind of like this thriller race against time type movie. And so I see the similarities here. I don't know why that comparison is coming to my head, but I see the similarities. And then on to the most horrific thing I've ever seen in my life. Freaking Larys comes to Alicent with info. And I didn't realize at first what he was doing. Like when she just took off her shoes, I thought maybe she's just like de-stressing for a minute. Like she just needs to put her feet up. And then when she asks for more info and then has to reluctantly take her leggings off, I was like, oh my God, like, no, this is awful. And then he silently strokes himself while she turns away and just has her feet out in the open. That was the most disgusting thing I've ever seen. I said this in the reaction, but if you have a foot fetish, there's something wrong with you. Like you like normally, hey, I'm not one to kink shame. Like if whatever you're into is what you're into, but I will absolutely kink shame foot fetishes. Like those people are weird. Like stop it. Just get help. Get professional help. See a therapist. Consider staying a full 72 hours in a psych ward because you're insane. That being said, if you would like to pay me exorbitant amounts of money, I will send you pictures of my feet. I will be very expensive though. Like one picture of my foot is like $100. Videos $1,000. Like I will, if you're willing to pay that amount of money, I don't care if you see my feet, but I think you're creepy and weird. I'm gonna make that clear. You're a psycho. But No, okay, but then the last like 10, 15 minutes of this episode is absolutely bonkers. So, is it Eric or Arik? What, I forgot which brother is which, but he gets Rhaenys out of her room and he's trying to get her out of the kingdom, right? He's trying to get her to a boat. He's like, you won't be able to make it to the dragon pit. Little do they know, this whole show is happening at the dragon pit. Like, convenient place to meet. He sneaks her out. Aegon finally is starting to accept the fact that he's going to be king. Kind of bonkers, but then, yeah, the Greens, they know that, like they said in the post episode, they know that the only way everyone is going to accept Aegon as their king is if they are literally shown him as the king. So they bring all these peasants in to the dragon pit, which is, they probably chose that area because it's the biggest spot. They can fit the most peasants in there. And they put on this show of anointing him king, even though none of these peasants know that this is happening duplicitously, and that Dragonstone is unaware. And they make this whole big show of anointing him king, and he finally like accepts it, and he's like, yeah, yeah, like he's finally at the point where he might feel okay with this situation. And it's this whole grand event, and you're like, dang, dude. And then Rhaenys, the bad bitch, just bursts through the floor on her dragon, and she could have killed them all. She could have put an end to the war right then and there, and it would have been insane. It would have been bonkers. Like, she had the opportunity. She easily could have done it. But they said in the post-episode thing that her connection with Alicent as a mother is what stopped her in that situation. Her morality, in the sense of she doesn't want, one, I mean, not necessarily like, I can't kill Alicent, she's also a mom type thing. I mean, that could be part of it, but also like, she's keenly aware of, you know, her children. Both of her children are dead as far as she's aware. And so I don't think she's probably harbored a lot of internal hatred for whoever she thinks killed her kids. And so I don't know if she could bring herself to be the person that then murders Alicent's children, because all three of Alicent's kids are right there. There's another one in Old Town or something, but the main three of them are right there, and she could cook them all, but she couldn't bring herself to murder another mother's children, even if the mother also dies at that point. So she does the next best thing, and she's like, I'm gonna just scream at you to let you know you're awful, and then I'm leaving. And she's going to Dragonstone to alert Rhaenyra. Very interesting that Rhaenyra and Daemon and all them were not in this episode at all. This was all just the Greens. And then next episode, the finale, I guess, is all the Blacks, and Alicent is not in the next episode at all. Presumably, most of the people here are not in next episode at all. The trailer showed Rhaenyra learning about the king's death, and then all these next steps of like people want her to like sack, like put King's Landing to the torch, like attack the kingdom, very much like Daenerys does when she is deciding she wants to be the ruler, and like Daenerys says, she doesn't want to be the Queen of Ashes, even though she absolutely ends up doing that. I don't think it would work well for Rhaenyra in this situation if the peasants were actively shown Aegon as king and cheered for it, and then she showed up and burned the kingdom. I don't know if that would work fantastically in her favor. But it's gonna be intense. There's gonna be fighting. It's gonna be bonkers, and it's crazy to think that the season finale is already here next week. I feel like this and like this and Rings of Power, seemingly only started recently, but we're almost done with the seasons now. So it's kind of bonkers. But yeah, I think I've loved every episode of this season. Like, I don't think there's a single episode in this season that has been below like an 8.5 for me, honestly. Like, I think every episode has been pretty much an absolute banger. Just the writing is excellent. A lot of the cinematography is really, really good. The tension in each episode is like palpable. Like, you can feel the tension, like this inner family conflict, because I feel like everyone, I think it's easier for them to show this conflict because everyone feels or has felt conflict within their family before, and so everyone can relate on some extent or some level the conflict that is there, even if they can't perfectly relate, obviously, to a familial civil war about ascension. They can still draw upon family drama to see similarities and connections within their own life. So I think it's a lot easier for this show to write that tension and that drama than some other shows. And so I think when they have even competent writing, like it feels like the writing feels at a higher level than it is, if that makes sense. Like, it's still great writing, but it feels like excellent writing because everyone, I feel like, can draw those connections, and so the tension is like there the whole time, and you know where it's going, you know what's gonna happen, even if you aren't like spoiled. Like, if you don't know the full events of what's gonna happen, you can predict what's gonna happen because you just know how people are. This is very much a show about, you know, how people, like real people, would act in these situations, and people who are greedy and people who want power would react in these situations. And so I just think the writing is so good and the acting is great. Like, you can tell they put so much money into this show, and it's freaking dope. I freaking love it. This and Rings of Power, I think, are just so cool. Like, the fact that so much money is being shoveled into two high profile fantasy shows is excellent. Like, we are truly living in an era of peak television. But I think that's all I gotta say. So let me know what you guys thought of the episode down in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Were you as creeped out by that foot scene as I was? Definitely let me know. Are you still Team Green or are you still Team Black? Like, has this episode made you think differently about any of the characters? I would love to hear your opinions on all that. If you liked my reaction, please leave a like on the video. It means a lot to me and it helps my channel out a ton. If you are new here or you find yourself coming back often, hit subscribe, ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. And then if you want to see the full uncut version of this reaction, consider supporting me on Patreon. That's linked in the description below. But otherwise, thank you for watching, and I will catch you guys next time.